Susan woke craving a wild leap, not into Sydney's icy ocean. Fam knew she hated cold, but into something bolder. 50. Menopause had her sweating through beach BBQs like a rookie, yet today, steam from a forgotten Dandelion tea mug whispered rebellion. That workshop flyer, herbs for hot flashes, taunted her from fridge. Who signed up for tea classes midlife? Someone done with pretending apricot scrubs fixed everything. She chugged bitter brew, smirked. Maybe courage tasted like roasted weeds and poor decisions. Susan woke craving a wild leap, not into Sydney's harbour, but away from her own skin. Hot flashes rolled in like summer storms, leaving her damp and disoriented. 50 felt less like a milestone and more like a misstep, like tripping over an unseen route mid-hike. Her deepest fear. Becoming invisible, fading like a Polaroid left in sun, colours bleeding into nothing. One sweltering afternoon, she stumbled upon a herbal tea workshop in a sunlit corner of a community centre. Between beach BBQs and her fam's relentless cheer, she'd forgotten how to listen to her own body. Instructor handed her a chipped mug, same cobalt blue as her grandmother's, one that had held chamomile after scraped knees. Dandelion root, woman said, for grounding when world spins too fast. Susan hesitated. Menopause wasn't something she'd planned for, not like career moves or school lunches. But she steeped tea, bitter and earthy, and took a sip. Warmth spread, not prickling kind, but steady, like a hand on her shoulder. Maybe growing older wasn't about vanishing, maybe it was about brewing something new, one clumsy step at a time. Creator woke craving a wild leap, not into Sydney's harbour, though her fam joked about dunking hot flashes away. Instead, she found herself squinting a chalkboard outside a sun-bleached cafe, herbal remedies for change. Below, a dandelion danced in smudged yellow, roots curling like wisdom. Her knees creaked climbing steps, but that mug on counter, chipped, proclaiming world's okayest grandma, felt like a wink from universe. Inside, a woman with silver braids and dirt under her nails crushed dried petals between her palms. Dandelion's not a weed, love. It's a rebellion, she snorted, then sneezed from pollen cloud. Room erupted in laughter, middle-aged women elbowing each other like teens at beach barbecue. No pity here. Just hands teaching hers to steep bitterness into something drinkable. Back home, waves crashed as she sipped golden tea, mug warming her palms. Funny how something so simple could steady her, like remembering to breathe between set samba. She burned first batch. Oversteeped second. By third try, she'd learned, patience wasn't surrender. Bondi, she brought a thermos to share. Skeptical eyebrows rose. Better than wine, someone teased. Woman shrugged. Less hangovers, more hope. They clinked mugs as sunset painted sand, menopause story spilling between sips. That chipped ceramic cup became her anchor, not because it fixed everything, but because it reminded her to hold warmth, even when life tried to cool her down. One evening, she spotted a young mum juggling groceries and a tantruming toddler. She handed her a tea bag tucked in a napkin. For when wheels fall off, woman blinked. You're like a menopause fairy godmother. Susan cackled, nearly spilling her brew. Fairy godmothers wore aprons stained with turmeric now. Sydney's wind carried dandelion fluff past her window. 50 wasn't an ending. It was 1,000 seeds taking root. She woke craving a wild leap, not into Sydney's harbour, though midlife madness whispered it, but towards something gentler, like dandelion tea. 50 years of logic said menopause symptoms were inevitable, her bones begged to differ. That morning, she chucked her usual coffee, swiped a chipped mug painted with sunflowers, her daughter's long-ago art project, and boiled water like it owed her answers. Beach BBQs with fam had become endurance tests, hot flashes competing with grill flames, so she googled herbal remedies between flipping snags. Skepticism clung like sunscreen, but curiosity won. She signed up for a workshop run by a no-nonsense herbalist in a converted warehouse smelling of earth and impatience. First sip of dandelion brew tasted like lawn clippings and regret. Woman scowled but kept going, stubborn as a cockatoo guarding a chip. Weeks passed. Mornings began with that mug, its cracks a reminder, some breaks couldn't be fixed, only held. Flashes dulled. Sleep deepened. She smirked her reflection, who knew menopause required drinking weeds like some backyard alchemist. One evening, watching dust paint harbor gold, she raised her mug in a silent toast to small rebellions. No grand transformation, just a woman outsmarting her own body with roots and hot water. Sydney hummed around her, oblivious. Susan didn't need fireworks. She had steam, stubbornness, and a damn good reason to keep sipping. Creator woke craving a wild leap, not into Sydney's harbour, but past self-doubt clinging like last season's swimsuit. 50 years old, knees creaking louder than her screen door, she still burned for something fierce. That morning, clutching a chipped mug stamped with faded sunflowers, she eyed a flyer for an herbal tea workshop. Dandelion root for menopause relief. Skeptical? Sure. But desperation tasted bitterer than burnt toast. She showed up, blending into a sea of linen-clad wellness warriors, half expecting side eyes for her bargain bin sneakers. Instructor prattled about antioxidants, woman fidgeted, until, plot twist, she raised a hand. What if it's all bunk? Murmurs rippled. Instructor blinked, then grinned. Prove me wrong. Challenge accepted. Back home, she brewed batches like a mad scientist, testing dandelion tea against her night sweats. First sip. Dirt-flavored regret. But by week 3, sleep came easier, mood steadier. Even her reflection winked back, look you, fam. Then came beach barbecue. Her cousin scoffed hippie nonsense until she thrust forward her mug, steaming, golden, and dared her to try. Reluctant sip. Pause. Holy, this actually works. Laughter erupted, someone snapped a pic. By sundown, Susan was swarmed by women begging her recipe. That night, clutching her mug like a trophy, she grinned. No magic cure, just guts and grit. Menopause hadn't dimmed her, it lit a fire. And as her phone buzzed with notifications, turns out, barbecue pic went viral, one thought blazed, I found my voice. Somewhere, a dandelion shrugged. Told YA so. Susan woke craving a wild leap, not into Sydney's harbour, but into something fiercer, freedom from menopause's grip. Hot flashes had turned her into a human lava lamp, and brain fog made her misplace car keys in fridge. But that morning, clutching her chipped sunflower mug, a relic from her backpacking days, she sipped dandelion tea, earthy, bitter, weirdly comforting, and felt a spark. Not magic, just enough clarity to Google herbal tea workshops near me. By sundown, she transformed her sun-bleached patio into a makeshift apothecary, hosting a ragtag crew of women swapping hot flash horror stories over beach BBQs. Susan, ever-reluctant guru, guided them through steeping dandelion roots like some menopause MacGyver. Margie, 62, joked it tasted like dirt's revenge, but by week 3, even she admitted sleeping through night. Mug, once solitary, now multiplied across Sydney, on kitchen counters, office desks, beside yoga mats, each one a tiny rebellion against sweaty sheets and societal shrugs. Susan's odd habit. She toasted every small victory by clinking her mug against moon. Fam, her baffled kelpie, howled along. By 55, she'd built a community where creativity wasn't just watercolors and journaling but radical self-care, steaming cups of defiance passed hand to hand. Menopause hadn't dimmed her, it lit a fire. So here's your nudge, fam, brew your brave. Sip it slow.